Can you see my herpes?
Is that what that is?
See? I told you. I was like, bro, you got to make up a story how you got into a fight.
Bro, he FaceTimed me. He was like, what the fuck is on your face? I'm like, it's a long story.
You got
a fucking giant herpes.
They say herpes is for life, bro.
It's not a herpes. It's a... Is this a thing, Doc? Can you tell me? Then we'll get into the podcast.
Yeah, sure.
Are fever blisters a thing?
Yeah, cold sores.
That's
yeah.
what this
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah, so cold sores, here's the thing, man, is that there's different types of herpes. There's like, off the top of my head, 8 different strands. Chickenpox, shingles, that's a type of herpes.
For real?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a strand of herpes. Just so happens that you get usually as a kid and it doesn't reoccur unless you're older. It might come back as shingles, right? Varicella zoster, whatever, right?
So I got shingles right now.
No, that's a cold sore, which is also
No, that's just herpes, dog.
which is a type of herpes. But there's like HSV1 and HSV2. Off the top of my head, I'm probably gonna mix this up. HSV1 is typically what you call cold sores, right? It's not what you would generally call like sexually transmitted, even though it can be transmitted by contact. The genital herpes, which is typically the one you associate with sexual contact, is HSV2. Now, what can happen is some people have cold sores, which is pretty common, actually. I think if you combine HSV1 and HSV2, they say it's like 60-70% of the population.
Wow.
Yeah. I've seen you with cold sores, too. Don't fucking pretend like you haven't got it.
Yeah, cold sores. Cold sores are it's not an uncommon thing. But what can happen is, again, because cold sores are reoccurring and it is contact, contagious by contact. Like, not to get too graphic, if you give oral sex with a cold sore, you can transmit it to the genitals.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't do that today. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So what the fuck happened? Or how does it happen? I don't get it.
Did you not listen, motherfucker?
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't explain it.
Oh, right. So
he didn't explain how that fuck does a growth happen on your lip.
So what most likely
so
happened is maybe a family member or someone you came into contact had a cold sore but didn't know it, because sometimes you can shed the virus without it being visible.
Yeah.
Maybe they like kissed you as a baby, or maybe you had a girlfriend, that probably didn't have it. That probably didn't have it showing. You made contact with them and then you just got it.
It's interesting.
There you go. You happy? Medically, I just got put on blast.
Now, as far as the first person with cold sores,
you're the one who brought it up, bro.
Well, I mean, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Mo in the building. Let's give it up real quick. Let's go.
The doctor
coming back for his second appearance.
Yeah, man, had to.
Except, things are different. Budget went up, even though we're missing a camera, but we're still here.
You got the lovely lights, man. You got the ceiling fan. I dig it, bro. Yeah,
bro, we appreciate you coming back, dude. But we're here today, man. We got a bunch of questions. We got a bunch of shit we want to get into.
Sure, man. I'm all for it.
But from the last time, what was that, about a year ago?
Wasn't it?
It might have been. When you get old, man, I'm an old man, so when you get old, time starts.
It was winter.
I feel like a child around you guys. I mean, no offense, Doc, but I mean, these motherfuckers.
It was January, February.
January, February.
Cold, bro.
No, but last time the one story that stuck out to me is that there was a young lady that had to get something removed from her.
Oh, the foreign body story.
Yeah.
It's always a foreign body in the rectum, man. It's just
So I want to know: is there anything maybe bigger? Anything else that's crazy that's been coming out?
What's the latest and greatest in the life of being a doctor? In what ER doctor in Chicago, right?
No, Missouri. I did med school in Chicago, but I practice in Missouri now. Which a lot of meth, a lot of drugs, which means a lot of craziness.
Yeah,
shit.
Sadly, but
if you were to share maybe a top like 1 or 2 story in the last 6 months, what would it be?
Oh man, off the top of my head, since foreign bodies seem to be a common thing, the guy had a
foreign body. What's that?
Foreign bodies, so like something foreign that shouldn't be in the body, right? So, off the top of my head, since that seems to be a common topic we talk about, a gentleman came in one time and he was like, I got something up my butt. And I'm like, okay.
He was that casual about it?
He was very casual. He was like, and this dude was probably about, in his 50s, you know what I'm saying, without giving out too much information.
It's the third time this week he's been in type thing.
50s male.
Well, the biggest, internal question that I always have is like, was it intentional or not? I asked him, you got to keep a professional face, right? Because
is it hard though? Is it hard? Like
that's why I usually, since COVID, man, I keep the mask on so you can hide the expressions, because underneath it, you just like.
Yeah,
you got the.
Wait, he's coming in calm. Like, hey,
he's coming in calm. I'm like, hey, you say, hey, what brings you in today? I'm Dr. Mo. I'll be working with you today. He's like, oh, well, I got something stuck in my butt. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, how did it happen? What is it? He's like, well, I was sitting there bored, and I, felt like masturbating, and I grabbed what was nearest to me and used it up my rectum, and it got stuck. I'm like, okay, well, what was it? He said, a soap dispenser.
bro.
And I'm thinking, you know, because soap dispensers, I mean, they come in all different shapes and sizes, right? So
Yeah,
you're
but
like
they all
trying
have
to,
that hook at the end.
right? 'Cause then you
They all got that.
Yeah, you know, that vacuum effect, like we talked about last time, though. Like people don't
for
understand.
the people that don't know, and maybe Lucas
The
doesn't know,
va-
you gotta let them know.
Well, I don't think we need to worry about my butthole. Not tonight.
To those who are not used to sticking things up their butt, which I'm not an expert, only through the emergency room, but you know, there's that vacuum effect. Once it goes up there, yep, exactly, just like that sound. Perfect, perfect sound.
You knew that, huh?
Thank you. Thank you. So glad you showed up today.
So, but usually what comes in my head is, okay, so this was intentional? Actually, it's like, no, it was intentional. You know, I was attempting to masturbate. And I'm like, okay. So then you get the X-ray because then you got to see what it looks like before you take it out and see if you can take it out. And it was like one of those. It was like a spear-shaped glass soap dispenser. So
Electric? It was electric?
It was glass. It wasn't electric, but it was just made of glass. And then you got to be careful because you're saying, okay, I got to remove this, but can I remove it safely without shattering it?
Right.
And so there was no way I can get it out. So unfortunately, you know, you try to do it yourself manually.
Oh, you got to do it?
No. Yeah, you try to, but you know, there's a couple of techniques you could try to just fingers in. You could try like a Foley balloon and kind of put it past the object, inflate the Foley balloon, and then pull it out, tug it out. But glass, you got to be careful. So I was like, you know, we're not going to mess around with that. So we had to call surgery, unfortunately, surgery. And then you see like the post-op pictures and like, yeah, there's no way I was getting that out. And it was actually impressive. You're like, wow, he put that up his butt. That was pretty impressive.
Wait, it didn't have it?
I mean,
You're not shocked. You're like just impressed at the.
It's mind blowing to me, like what people can like shove in their ass, like or even like women in their hoo-ha.
I mean, I think for me
That makes more sense though. Like I feel like a soap dispenser in the pussy is like
you're like, a baby can come out of there,
exactly,
soap dispenser.
yeah.
You know, same
I don't know, but just the casual conversation of this dude just being like, yeah, you know, I was trying to jack off and soap dispenser up the butthole.
Yeah,
that's a weird casualness.
You know, listen,
hey, bro, we don't kink shame on this show.
Yeah,
Lucas.
I mean,
we don't kink shame on this show.
No, I'm not, bro. No one kink shaming. That's hard to have a conversation with someone else who's maybe not doing it.
It's 2023, no kink shaming, right?
Yeah,
no. I mean, I respect the honesty. He was honest about it. So
I mean,
Chuy says no kink shaming just because he loves feet, bro. Let him tell you about his
Can
fetish,
I get there?
bro.
Can I get there?
We'll let that cook.
Dude, speaking of women kind of being into some weird shit, did you see recently was it Shannon Sharpe? Is that his name?
Oh, Shannon Sharpe, yeah, the football player.
Yeah, that he interviewed, which we famously go back and forth in the DMs.
Brittany
Renner.
Brittany Renner, right?
Renner. Griner's the basketball.
Griner's
right?
basketball player, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So they had a conversation going back and forth, and what did she say? They were going back and forth, and she said like, oh, you know, I've had sex with like 36 guys.
Right.
You know, she's 30 something, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
She's lived.
Shannon Sharpe goes crazy. I mean, he like spits out his drink. Is going looking at the camera. Like,
I saw a clip of that. Yeah,
He's being obnoxious.
So, yeah. So I guess my question is to you guys: what is your thoughts on that? You know, she's 30. She has a 36. I don't think that's a high number. I also don't think it matters. It's kind of weird that was even brought up.
Man. I guess it depends on how you break it down. Because let's say she's 35, right? She said 35 bodies. So that means if you break it down by average, you could have started having sex at 1, and you're averaging 1 body per year by the age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So 35, man.
Crazy
That's
comparison, though, Doc.
Huh?
Dude, that's like.
Hey, we're not kink shaming out here.
Okay, listen, man. One thing about life, I don't judge. It's your life. I mean, as a doctor, if someone comes in with a drug habit, psych issues, smoker with COPD, emphysema, and they're like breathing on a lung machine, they're like, "Oh, you still smoke?" Yeah. You know, I give them the talk and say, you know, listen, it's your life. Just as long as someone came and told you, like, hey, you know, this is going to kill you. So one of my biggest fears with people that I've treated is that I don't ever want to get to the point where someone looks back on life like, you know, maybe if a doctor would have explained it to me, I would have changed something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's fair.
Right. It's your life, though. If you want to do drugs, homie, do drugs. It's your life.
But wait, so let me ask you this, because obviously we're comparing drugs to sex.
Sex. So same thing with sex, man. And my view on sex is, I mean, with most things, I think probably maybe even everything, there's scientific evidence that shows the more you do something, the more desensitized you're going to be to it, right?
Right.
You know,
Really? You believe that?
I believe that. There's a lot of studies that show that the more you do something, like whether it's the ringing of the bell, and then eventually if you ring a bell long enough, right, they kind of become immune to it. Like they don't even notice it, or it starts to, they associate like ringing the bell to a certain habit. Right. Next, you know, you're doing that habit every time the bell rings, but you're not, you know, you don't even know. It's just subconscious now. You know, so I think.
So I guess where's your link to sex? Like, why is that a big problem?
Well, I'm saying it's a big problem because okay, I'll use like an analogy. Maybe this makes sense, right? So you got this glass, right? So let's say everyone starts off with a full glass, right? you have sex with somebody. I don't care what anybody says. If you have sex with somebody, it's an intimate act, right? It's not something that happens every day for most people, I would think, unless unless you're Chuy.
Yeah.
Sorry for disrespecting all we. But I'm saying, like, I think especially for a woman, if you talk about like hormones, like oxytocin, like, you know, the feel good hormone, the bonding hormone. When women get pregnant and deliver, they release that hormone. It's supposed to, like, dare I say, it helps with contractions, but it also gives you that bonding moment with the kid. I mean, this is all neurotransmitters, hormones that's making you act the way that you act. And so when you're having sex and climaxing, all these hormones are getting released and things like that. You're talking about dopamine storages, you're depleting storages of dopamine or desensitizing yourself. I mean, it's like a drug addict. What's they say? You never get the first high ever again. You're chasing that first high. It's the same thing with sex. Imagine, I guarantee you, bro, if you look back in your life, you could probably remember the first time you had sex, but if you've had a lot of sex, you probably can't remember the fifth or sixth one, but you remember your first one, right? Yeah. You remember? I know I remember. It was like 5 seconds. Sorry to put that out there, but it was like 5 seconds.
Exactly. Let me tell you
Damn,
something.
I felt good just to be at the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, oh, man.
It's still 5 seconds for me.
At least you're consistent.
20th, bro.
For as much as this guy's cream pie, you'd think his stamina was fucking lit.
Wait, hold on. So
he knows what he
Literally
likes.
just sets the tip in and it's
over with.
Yep. All done.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm saying, I'm sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Nah, but if we're going by cup, let's say you got a full cup, man. So every time you have sex, you pour a little bit out, right? Keep having it. By the time you get to the person that you love or that you truly cherish and want to be with, how much you got left in the tank? You know, you've exhausted all your, whether you want to make it a hormone thing, neurotransmitter thing, or you just want to say just social companionship, your ability to connect to somebody. I mean, you really got nothing left. I mean, you got very few left to give to somebody. I think that affects you. Whether people want to believe that or not, that's what I believe. So 35, I mean, that's a high number. And, you know,
think so?
I think 35? For a woman, yeah, man, 35, because you got to understand, bro, like for a man, we got to work a little harder for that, right? So for women, you know, women are usually supposed to be the more selective ones. You know what I'm saying? Like 35, that's a lie. Then you say, what do you got to show from that?
So hold on. Okay, 35 years.
In my opinion,
But I agree with you, but I guess here's my question for you. So if that was a man at 35, you don't necessarily feel the same?
I feel the same thing. Same thing with men, bro. I'm not, you know, I'm not, I know some people, if you listen to some of these podcasts and dating gurus, they're like, oh, men should have sex with tons of people. I'm the same way, bro. I mean, I'm not the same way. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Because as a guy, you know what I'm saying, my number is not super high, but it's high enough. I can tell you that the more I've had sex, the less meaningful it has been.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Admitting, I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that you can have sex literally as much with as many people throughout the years, but I don't really feel it matters how much sex you've had in the past. It matters the sex you're having with a person and that connection with that person.
That's fair.
And obviously, once there is that specific connection with a person, I mean, yeah, I don't want to get into like body counts or anything, but I'm just kind of thinking like in my head, okay, like she's 35 years old. Mm-hmm. She starts having sex when she's like, let's say, 15 years old. I mean, that's not that many people. That's not even more than 2 people on a yearly basis. And you think about our society today, how people date, social media, people dating, I feel is literally at an all-time high right now because we live in this environment where the grass is always greener.
Definitely true. I think that's very fine points. Okay, let me ask you this, man. Let's get scientific here. The whole meaning, what's the meaning with sex? Why have sex?
Feels good.
Feels good.
I say
pleasure.
Procreation is what I would say. Procreation, like animals, we're animals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but that too. That too. Definitely a luxury. Hopefully it feels good.
That's the point of it. That's the
goal of it.
Right.
The goal. The end game.
I don't know, but I wouldn't agree with that. Not with how much contraceptive we have. Like, is that what it's for? Like,
I think it was created for that, though.
Yeah, but contraceptives, right? The technology that we're creating was that us or was that nature? Like nature. I think that was more us, right? Like that was us trying to modify. Right, but
that's what I'm saying. Right. Biologically, is sex for procreation? Absolutely.
Right.
Like, hands down, we know that.
Right.
But why do we do it?
Right, exactly. So
back to the oxytocin.
True. I'm just thinking from a biological standpoint, the act of sex was for procreation, right?
Okay.
And so I think when you start abusing that type of act, that intimacy, something that's used for procreation. Okay, we'll use Brittany Renner for example, right? She's 30-something years old. Is she married?
No.
Okay, she has a kid, right?
Yes.
If there's one thing I always see in her clip, she's always complaining about what? Men, right? So I don't know, man. It just seems like it ain't really working. So I'm not saying that's the main reason for why it's not going right, but maybe you need to take a step back and change a few things.
I think there's a difference too between like having sex to have sex,
right,
or having sex to and dating like, you know, different women to like get to know them to see if there's that chemistry, and then obviously moving on.
Sure.
Every single person, no, there's a big difference. People go out to fuck to bust a nut, like dudes. Like, I mean, we're all guilty of this. Dudes literally want to bust just to bust. And like, there's a difference between going and just having sex to have sex and having sex to build something with someone and see if there's a connection there. Because like, I know women that would straight up say like, hey, if the sex ain't good and I don't feel that connection, I don't care how good we mesh our personalities, whatever. So sex is also one of those things that's a deciding factor in a relationship.
But isn't that a small percentage of women? Like,
that's what?
That probably things like that.
Well,
I don't have the statistics on it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a hard way to end. But so how I feel is that guys are typically more. We typically have the ability to go have multiple sex partners with less, I guess, feelings attached, if I can put it that way, than women. Did you guys hear that or no?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. And again, maybe
think? Obviously it's anecdotal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to really investigate the science behind it, but I mean, a lot of that's probably again driven by certain hormones that get released. You know,
right?
Yeah. And so again, from a biological standpoint, whether we're talking about the ability to procreate and how that's pretty much the essence, the reason biologically for sex, or you're talking about certain hormones that are getting used, neurotransmitters, I just don't see it being healthy having a high body count. Whatever that number is, I guess it's relative. Yeah. I just don't see that being the most lubrious thing to do. If I had a daughter, I would say, be careful who you share your time and your body with. Yeah. Because
don't give up the goods to everyone, daughter.
Right, whether it's a one-night stand or whether it's a relationship, whether it's emotional or socially, you're going to be getting depleted because no woman wants to be disrespected, and I don't care what anybody says. If you have sex with that many people, I guarantee you most of them weren't respectful. And I think if you listen to that particular person, Brittany, speak, seems like she's got a lot of disdain for how men are. You know, now obviously it's her life. A lot of that's self-inflicted, so she's got to take responsibility in that. But if I had a daughter, I probably would tell them not to have a high body count, whatever that number may be. Protect that.
Right. I think men and women situations are like so much different.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
You just like people being hoes out here, bro.
Hey man, if you want to be the biggest hoe you want, if you're happy.
No, I'm just like, I'm a straight realist. Like we are in this society that the grass is greener somewhere else. So it's like there's a lot of people that are completely like, I mean, look at the marriage. What like
it's like 55%.
We were talking about this on the way out. 55% of Americans are divorced. Right. So there's only 45% of like people who survive. So we're just in this world where people are like, oh, well, fuck it. I don't know if it's going to work anyway.
Well, I mean, and I would argue that the remaining portion that stays together doesn't necessarily want to be together. They're sticking together for X, Y, Z.
Cheaper to keep her.
Yeah, and I'm not saying all of them. I grew up too, like with parents who stuck together, and I'm saying obviously they had their difficult times, but I also know that there's people who stick together for reasons that are less than why they want to stick together, right? They got kids, they got assets, they got shit together.
And I mean, if you look at, there's a lot of hopefully good reasons to get married, but one of the big ones that kind of stands out to me is if you look at some of the studies, they actually say, okay, so what children, generally speaking, have the best odds of having a successful life, finishing school. I mean, they kind of have this metric of what success is. Okay, who goes to college or who finishes college, who makes a certain figure, has a certain salary, ends up being married with a family, right? That was kind of the metric of what a successful child being raised was. Right. And they found that the best environment was a two-parent home. Right,
100%. The nuclear family, I agree with,
which
is the best.
Unfortunately, as you're saying, though, there's this mentality, I think, which is false. It's a false, mentality as far as the grass is greener. Yep. Because then you realize you get on the other side and you're like, it's pretty much the same thing or it's worse. And people don't want to work hard enough to water the grass that they got. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that's right by any means.
Yeah, right.
What I'm just saying is we're in the society that's like, that's what people see. That's what they're around.
For sure.
Well, I mean, I have my own argument on that. And statistically, we look at typically women are the ones leaving the family.
That's true.
And they're also the most subsidized. Yep. Statistically.
Most women initiate divorce. I forget the number, but for sure.
Yeah. It's a high amount. But then on top of that, women are also highly subsidized to be single. Most men aren't getting, WIC programs and things like that. That's typically a female program. So when you look at deterioration of society and deterioration of the nuclear family, there's a lot of evidence showing what's causing that.
Right, and as far as married, like Chuy, you're married, right?
Yeah.
Okay, not to put your business out there.
No,
sorry, ladies, but
Doc, you kill you.
no, sorry, man. I know the DMs are gonna start being empty now. I apologize, man. I don't know how you guys are. I'm not married or anything, but would you say, if you look at it, if you want to be married? I mean, I want to be married. I don't know if you guys want to be. You want to raise a family, things like that. Do you think, compared to 5 years ago or even 10 years ago, because I'm 37, do you think it's easier to find a wife that's, or to obtain marriage, a successful marriage? You think it's easier now or before?
I'd ask you, how broad of a spectrum are we talking? Like easier in America or easier worldwide? Easier worldwide, I'd say yes, it is easier. Easier in America? No, absolutely not.
What about you personally? Do you feel like, for you personally, to find do you notice that when you're dating women that you're finding that, okay, the selection of women that I've dated, it seems like there's a lot of good women potentials that I could, maybe they're not for me, but I think they'd be a good wife compared to now or to 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say, and they know a little bit about my situation, but so the idea being, I'm less about chasing that to happen more than I am, trusting in God and letting that come.
For sure.
You get what I mean? But at the end of the day, I feel like if I was to go searching, I feel like I know much better places to check for what I want than here in my own area.
All right, well, what's the secret, man? I'm trying to get married, man. I'm trying to have a family. What's the place? Where do you go?
Well, I guess it depends on your beliefs, right? Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, I've been traveling, man. And
you've been out here.
I've lived, man. But there are some good women out there. God, man, I already know I'm going to get a lot of hate DMs for this, talking about Western women. But, maybe it's just a humility thing as far as, U.S. I think one of the most important things you could do, especially as a man, is just start traveling. And it's not even about finding a wife and women and all that stuff, but it really opens your mind to what's important, because you go to some of these places that are not as, as financially in a position that the U.S. in, and they're more impoverished, and you look at what they appreciate. And at least my ancestral experience is that they tend to appreciate the little things, family, friends. And as I'm 37, look back and reflect on life, those are things I typically remember, the experience with family and friends.
100%.
And I found in my experience, they seem to appreciate a lot more here. Not really the flash and glamour like we do in the U.S., the superficial stuff, the social media stuff.
Well, but I would also just add into that, I feel like something, and this may be bullshit or not, but I feel like something that most other cultures appreciate that we've lost is male roles and female roles.
I agree.
So that might be a factor. I don't know. That's for you guys to decide.
And I think a part of that.
No, it's like the culture in the U.S. today. Like, yes, we're very diverse as a country, but the culture in the U.S., regardless of race, ethnicity, background, religion, whatever, is so much different here than in other countries. Yeah. And I think that has so much to do with it.
Yeah, I always joke around. Hopefully, Shorty clicked off this part already. If it weren't to work, bro, I'm going to a ranch in Mexico.
A ranch in Mexico?
And finding a fucking like
little señorita
with the deep, with the morals, everything, bro. Yeah, okay. No, but I sympathize with people though right now who have fucked up situations and are our age, right? Because, or even the ones that are just single still, because. Dude, I guess Vegas is a different animal too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a whole different animal, but even in Chicago too, bro. It's just
I was gonna say Chicago, Miami,
all these
California,
big places, bro. It's
bro.
like, I was just talking to somebody about that today, like the just apps, and then it's almost weird if you go up to a girl and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" They'll be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what happened to meeting people out?
Which is, bro, I sympathize
if it's not
dearly
on Tinder, you ain't meeting no one.
Exactly, which is weird too, because it's like, I'm a 7, but 6 of those points are personality. I can make you laugh.
Personality, go. Hey, how do you think I get by, man?
I don't see my herpes. I'm good.
So
show you my good side, right? Show you my good side.
He's like Two-Face. He turns around, hey. He's like, hey, how you doing?
Oh man,
I think that's too why it was so much easier probably 10, 15 years ago, is because people actually like communicated and interacted with each other, and actually people focused on building like a bond in a relationship and getting to know people. Now, like to Chuy's point, half these fucking people, like they don't even know how to like go up and talk to someone or introduce themselves.
Right, definitely true.
Well, yeah,
because these damn apps.
It's not even so much that we don't know how to, but I don't know how you guys are. But let me ask you this, because like even when I'm in the gym, right? So sometimes I'll be there, and then you always get that eye, right? Like some girl looks over at you, and you already know, like you know what the look looks like when it's like, yo, come talk to me. Right?
Yeah.
For sure.
But you're like, I'm not gonna go over there and risk fucking being, he's a creemer! And they're like putting you on social media. Channel. Like, come on, I ain't doing it. Yeah. I'm not falling for this. Not today, not again. Right. I know you.
They're gonna go home and tell all their girlfriends.
Yeah, as an older guy that's kind of was, raised during high school and went to college during the time where social media wasn't as prominent. Facebook came out when I was in college. You still had to go talk to a woman.
Right.
Yep.
And it actually works out for me having that ability, especially when you talk to women. It actually works in my favor because these youngsters, they lost that ability and that trait. So they had a big disadvantage. I was watching this one YouTube was like speed dating, and these guys are probably like in their early 20s, late teens, 19, whatever. And there was a girl there. It was kind of like this bachelorette thing. They would come, introduce and talk. Bro, it's the most socially awkward thing. And I'm like,
nice tits.
Yeah, right. And don't get me wrong. I was a late bloomer, man. I didn't really understand the game and the dance with conversation with women until I was probably in my early 20s.
Yeah.
But I learned it. But these youngsters, man, they don't have that ability because, again, I don't know if it's fixation on social media or these dating apps, but it puts them at a disadvantage. So I guess since I'm still trying to get married, just keep being socially
But to that point, though, go ahead.
Well, all I was going to say is a disadvantage, yes, but in a way, I'm curious because I think probably in a social setting, your game is hands down going to fucking win someone over, right?
Watch when we go to the
but here's the question, though.
Man. But, gentlemen.
Are you on any of the dating apps?
I have before, man. I've done it before. I feel like, especially these days, if you're, why not use every resource that's available? I'm not 100%. Saying solely just fixate on the dating apps because there's other ways to meet people, meet women. I'll tell you, honestly, some of the best people I've met, whether it was someone I was dating or just met in general, were people that I met in person. I mean, me and Chuy, we met in the barbershop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if I go on vacation, meet somebody in person, you still friends to these days.
Here's why I asked, though. So I'm just curious to hear your perspective on this because here's my argument, right? I'm playing devil's advocate, if you will. So you are better in that setting of in person. But I feel like the younger generation would be better on the setting of technology. Okay, you hear that?
I don't know, man. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at both, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't, I'm my biggest fan, man. I'm pretty good at both.
But that's what I was gonna say. I feel like, like the younger guys are losing the ability to talk to women, but in the same way,
they know how to DM like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but I also feel like the younger women, and I'm not saying younger like super young, right? But are losing that ability to be able to be spoken to in that way.
Good point.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying like, I've seen it before where it's just like, I don't know, like somebody will come up and say like, hey, how you doing? And then just kind of like, their wires get crossed. They're like, oh, he's a creator. And it's just like, because
like a robot.
Because he didn't DM you. Or it's just like, it's immediately rejection.
But here's my only argument on that, right? If we go back to, once again, the like natural gender roles.
Thing, though,
I agree with you. Listen, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but all I'm saying is I still feel like I'd rather have the ability to have the gift of gab in public to be able to fucking meet a girl because the default role, that's what a girl will do. And the guy takes the control of the situation and makes them feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
And, I will say that I feel like women maybe even subconsciously develop that skill, maybe unknowingly, because let's be real, attractive woman gets hit on all the time. You ain't even got to be an attractive woman. So you're going to build that skill of talking or being talked to if you're a woman in general, because guys are going to come up and talk to you, right?
True.
Now, thinking of the flip side, bro. How many men
are practicing
going up? Because like you said, you see a pretty girl. I don't want to be called a creep. What if she says no? Which guys, listen, man. The worst she can say is no. As long as you're a gentleman, get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman says, it's nothing to hang your head shame. There's beautiful women all the time. You don't even know the girl. Right. Ain't nothing to be sad or upset about.
Yeah, there is a little bit of anxiety. I feel like I see it at the gym all the time. I think we talked about this last episode, but it's just like, you see a girl every day. You feel like, all right, I think today I'm gonna go talk to her. But it's just like, I'd rather not, because then I feel like if she's like, no thanks, I might just move states. Like,
right.
But fuck moving gyms. I'm moving to fucking Montana.
So we going to planet.
I'm out of this bitch.
It's funny that you say that because as much confidence as I have in myself as a person, as a gentleman, I don't think I've ever like just approached a woman in the gym just for some of those concerns. Like, I don't want to make it awkward.
Well, it's
like,
a weird,
like
it's
gym.
a weird play. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to switch gym memberships,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because you see her.
And then you see
like,
him every morning.
right.
You're sweating and shit already.
And then if you do date and it doesn't go right, and if she thinks you crazy or you think if she is
all
crazy,
you got to do is hold out. She'll leave gyms, bro. We get to stay, bro. This is our gym.
We're here first.
Hang your flag at the door. Let's go.
too much. Man, too much.
Hey, so we're on this topic of like love, relationships, finding partners, whatever.
Okay.
There was a couple like real interesting topics I've seen in the last week.
All right, let's
and
do it.
want to get some insights from you guys. So
Sure.
the first one I'd like to bring up, retired NBA player Steven Jackson. He was dating his longtime girl for a period of time. Proposed to her. They're like 8 months out from marriage. Brings up to her, hey, I'm gonna need you to sign a prenup.
I remember this.
So, first, before I tell the rest of the story, I guess curious, what are you guys' thoughts on prenups?
I love them. I think they're fucking smart moves, especially if you have assets
Necessary.
to protect before you get into some bullshit.
Absolutely.
And you never know what's gonna be some bullshit. So get the paperwork, and you don't have to worry about nothing.
Yep.
For sure. Actually, it's
I'm
like,
poor, bro.
yeah.
I'm poor.
Yeah.
I don't.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
My socks.
Yeah.
But
Hey, you worked for those socks, though, bro. They're
That is
yours.
true. That
Yeah,
is
but
true.
in your circumstance, the socks came with your girl at the same time
Yeah.
anyway. You've been with your girl
Yeah.
so fucking long.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was fucking. She was 19. I was.
You took the pacifier out and went straight to the nana.
Yeah.
Wow.
You fuck with them?
What?
Pacifiers.
Oh, yeah. I think. I mean, it's like car insurance, man. No one is expecting to get in a car accident, but you're gonna have insurance, right? Like,
Yeah.
I just don't feel as so. Okay, because I've had this conversation with women. I can tell you that consistently, their point of argument is, well, I just feel like it's just kind of putting a bad, it's kind of putting a bad
Air on the whole situation.
Air. We're
Yeah,
kind of
right.
like, you're kind of going into it already with doubts, and it's just gonna create
Right.
this atmosphere of where it's not gonna work out. That's the main argument I hear. And I tell them, I mean, a prenup is just as important to you as it is to me. And again, not saying that anything bad is going to happen, but it's like car insurance. No one's expecting anything to happen. But I said, what if I turn into somebody, God forbid, maybe I gain an addiction, something bad happens to me, and it's a deal, or maybe I'm not good
It's
for
a
the
smart way
kid.
to put that back on you. Hey,
Right.
What if I go crazy, baby?
Exactly.
You get to keep your Toyota Camry.
Exactly. Forget all the money that I make that's in my bank account. But what if I go crazy? Or maybe, people change, man. And people get addictions, unfortunately, get exposed to certain things, sometimes intentionally, unintentionally, where it's not a safe environment for the kids. People are really good at hiding who they are sometimes. Like it's just as important to me as it should be for you. So I tell women the same thing. Like you think it's just about me protecting myself? No, it's about you protecting yourself too. Who wouldn't want to go into war with a bulletproof vest?
Yeah.
You don't want to use that.
Well,
but-
and just to add to that real quick,
Doc is good,
all
bro.
I would say is that if
Been around,
she
man.
had assets that she had on her own, she would be down for the prenup too.
Exactly.
Okay, but hold on.
You can go.
gentlemen.
Y'all so cute.
So I'm thinking like the female equivalent of a prenup. Okay, what I just came to mind is like, what if she's like, we're not having raw sex?
We're not having raw sex? What do you
We're
mean?
only gonna have sex with a condom.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get pregnant. I don't care if your pull-out game is good. I don't care if you got a vasectomy. We're not gonna have sex without a condom.
That's a pretty fair point.
I mean, would you not feel some type of way?
I mean,
Are we married or are we in a relationship? If we're in a relationship. I totally understand.
And we're talking about getting married, and I guess what I'm trying to put out there is like, what's the female equivalent? Like, I'm not saying that's the most precious thing.
I wouldn't say that's the same.
I don't think prenups is about male or like female. Like prenups should be
99% of them are
like
guys that have
prenups there needs to be a general rule for prenups.
Right.
If the male or the female has a large amount of assets or a large amount of money, there needs to be a prenup. If two people build wealth together, that's a completely different game. If two people meet each other with, I don't care, I mean, give or take X amount of money between each other, if they build that wealth together, like that's completely different. Like if you meet a partner and let's say you date for X amount of years and the man slowly starts making a bunch of money, but the woman was by the side helping that man build that money, then I wouldn't really say a prenup would be necessary.
Well, a prenup wouldn't even come into effect. You know what I mean? A prenup's before anything.
Yeah.
But
before marriage.
Well, right. Yeah, okay, I get what you mean then. But so let me ask you guys this, because I believe fully in prenups, but I had a buddy who wanted to get a prenup, didn't do it, ended up getting married, and he wants to go for a post-nup.
A post-nup.
That's a real fucking thing. Yeah, it's a real fucking thing. But now imagine, it's too. God. That's exactly what I said. It's good luck, homie. She's gonna be like, you know what?
So that's even almost that comes across more malicious. If you ask me.
Probably so. I can see that.
To tie our conversation now back to the story, Steven Jackson, every single month. Kept reminding her, hey, we got to get this prenup done. Hey, we got to get this prenup done. The wedding's coming up.
Right.
It's 1 month out from the wedding. Every week, he's like, hey, we got to get this done. Hey, we got to get this done. Guess what?
Didn't do it.
Wedding day.
What an
wedding
idiot.
day.
What an idiot.
Wedding day happens. Morning of the wedding day, he has it ready and says, hey, I need you to sign this. We got to do this prenup. We're getting married today.
Sticking to the guns.
She would not sign. Okay?
Well, then we ain't getting married.
He let that bitch walk to the altar, cued the DJ to play Gold Digger by Kanye West.
No way. Really?
And fucking peaced out.
Get out of here, yo.
What?
That's
savage, bro.
Okay,
ultimate savage. So I wanted you guys to talk about it a little bit. And then I wanted to tell you like what Steven Jackson did. Because that's a dog move, bro. So he literally like
says City Boys
after
up.
She went, and the best part is like after she wouldn't sign it the day of the wedding, he like didn't give a bunch of pushback or like fight with her. He was just like, it is what it is. And I think she thought like, oh, I'm Gucci. We're gonna get married today. Everything's gonna be good, whatever. She's literally standing at the altar, and you know how the DJ's playing the music for the different walk-up songs, and Gold Digger, I'm in D.
He's like the DJ's like, hey, we got a request. We got a request.
Yeah, she's a child. Brandon D.
That's wild, bro. That's wild.
So
that's
I guess
dope. I'm actually proud of him.
Okay, so
I mean, but like, bro, her mom. I mean, look, I'm not. I'm about to come across like I'm for her. I'm not. That's kind of crazy though, bro. Yeah. Like Shorty's mom.
So definitely was
no. Well, so here's
extreme,
my thing.
But,
here's my thing. In my opinion, if the prenup's not signed, we don't even plan this wedding.
You
sign that before planning goes in. That's why I thought you were about to say he ended up doing it. Oh no, she never signed. I'm sure she'll sign the post-nup. You know what I mean?
Yo, but if you guys had a daughter, right? Put yourself in that space. You have a daughter. You know, she's with some guy long term, and he's like a.
No, none that I know of. I've been to Brazil, Jamaica, and Japan a few times. I don't know.
Oh, bro, I'd be dropping seeds everywhere, bro. I'd be like a bunch of I'm creating a bunch of cinema.
How do you say papi in Japanese, bro?
Little bald-headed doctors wearing little fucking outfits.
Yo, but a nice beard though.
Good ass beard.
Good beard.
Even the daughters, bro. The daughters.
Dialed fucking beard with a stethoscope around his fucking neck.
A great lineup.
Slapping girls on the fucking ass with it.
Oh, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if I had a daughter, I mean, I'm happy I have a son, but if I had a daughter and she was dating somebody and was like, hey, dad, he kind of wants to get a prenup, whatever, I would feel some type of way.
All right, well, let me flip it on you. Let's flip it on you, because this is what I would tell the woman.
God,
okay.
you're soft, bro.
Let's say...
soft? It's just he doesn't have kids, bro.
He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He charmed me.
I don't think he understands it. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me flip it, though. I'll tell the woman, okay, let's say we have a daughter, because I have some assets, right? And... maybe my future wife has assets. So let's say we have a daughter who inherits our assets, right? Who's going to be well off, marries a gentleman that makes less. Would you want her to have a prenup if she had more than him? See what she says. It's your daughter, right? Like, wouldn't you want her to be protected? And a lot of times some people think that, having a prenup is basically me protecting my money. I got some friends, sadly, that have gone through divorce. And let me tell you something, bro. You know what the biggest headache and the biggest burden comes down financially? It's the lawyers. Because these lawyers want to draw this stuff out. Because the longer it's get drawn out, the more they get paid and retention. And I guarantee you, all my homeboys, man, that got divorced, when they tell me how the female lawyer is, man, the ex-wife's lawyer, it's all about, I don't accept that. We can get more. It's all about more. And you're like, it's always the lawyer who's like, let's get more. The wife, the ex-wife might be like, oh, that's fair. I'm okay with that. Let's get more.
And even in her defense, it's highly emotional, right? So you've already got enough strings to pull on to make sure, like, no, you're in the right. He needs to pay.
Gaslighting like a motherfucker.
And that's what they're professionals of. That's the best thing of their job if they're good.
Right. And we all agree when you're getting divorced, right? I mean, there's arguing involved, right? And this goes back to science, right? So one thing I remember reading when I was in, seriously.
This motherfucker felt that shit.
Yeah. One thing that, and this was a woman I was dating that put me onto this back in medical school, man. Really smart woman. She's a doctor too, as well. And she put me on this article that was basically talking about why you shouldn't try to resolve issues when you argue, and the importance of sometimes separating.
Say it again. Why?
The importance of why you shouldn't try to solve problems or resolve issues while arguing. Because they said they did these studies, right? That said that when you argue, you release certain hormones like cortisol, right? Which is the stress hormone. Right. These are the type of hormones, fight or flight. So when you argue, your body's in a position, it's in a mentality of fight or flight. So you're either going to want to leave or fight. And if you're trying to resolve an issue, if you're trying to fix an issue while trying to fight, you're not talking about resolving unless you get away from the situation.
Dip or punch.
You're trying to survive, right? You're trying to survive and fight, right? You're not trying. So that's why it was the importance it taught me in relationships. Like
I tell you,
when it gets to the point where you feel like your emotions are getting revved up and you're arguing and God forbid cussing at each other, you need to separate, let cooler heads prevail, and reapproach the conversation when you're level-headed and you're cool and you're calm and collective. So when you're getting divorced, like you said, you're in an emotional state. You're in this. You got these hormones being released. It's not about trying to do what's best for the kid or do what's best for each other. You just want to see that you're just trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes having a prenup avoids all that, because not only are you financially going to be in a better spot where you could probably get more to your wife, because the lawyers get some sort of retainer and they get paid a percentage of what the woman gets.
Really?
I'm pretty sure they do, right? Don't lawyers get a percentage of what the woman gets or what the man gets?
Whatever the victor gets.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter on either side.
So it's beneficial for both parties, because not only does it save each other time, which time is the most important commodity that we have, more than money, but it also makes it where it's an agreement where, okay, we agreed on if something happens, you get this amount, you get this, and I get this, so we can avoid the lawyers, we can avoid all that.
All the bullshit fees.
Right, and where we both leave happy because this is what we agreed on. Because keep in mind, I can approach somebody with a prenup. They still got to agree on the terms of it. And me personally, from my prenup, I would say, as long as it's not, I only believe in divorce for very rare reasons. My reason for divorce, if it affects the kids' well-being and it's a safety thing for the kids, or you cheat on me. I would think most women I would approach with that would say that's a fair thing, because if you can't do those two things, we shouldn't be getting married. Right. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I would pretty much put in a prenup. Look, if one of us cheats or it becomes something that's involved with the kids' protection and safety, then this ain't gonna work out. And I don't see how any sound person or reasonable adult would be against that. Yeah. In my opinion. Yeah. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, guys.
No, yeah.
Your Honor.
Good, bro. That's fucking dope.
So speaking of cheating divorces, I got one other one that's super interesting. I'm not sure religion-wise, you guys went to church growing up, anything like that. Have you guys ever went into?
You just came back from, bro. Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah,
fresh.
You actually look fresh out the church, bro.
Yeah,
bro. I'm the pastor.
Bro, show him the tie. Show him the tie. Show him the tie, bro.
Oh, the Versace?
So I like that. I say you look like my
got
lawyer.
Into ministry, huh?
That's it.
Okay, well,
bro, lawyer.
It looks.
Bro.
I look like the drug dealer lawyer right there.
Yeah. So this is the priest that's actually in the story. You guys know that?
No.
So check this out. A priest breaks his seal of confession by exposing the cheating wife to the husband.
Oh.
Give him a medal.
Okay.
He needs to be the Pope. He needs to be the
husband's
That's
going into the confession room, talking his shit. Woman's going into the confession room, talking his shit. He's hearing both sides. Priest can't take it anymore, breaks his seal of confession, and basically straight up tells the husband everything.
My man fell on his sword and got carried on his shield.
I mean,
did you guys grow up going to church?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Me too.
So
I wasn't,
and I went to Catholic church.
Me too.
That's like a Catholic school.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You got
Catholic
confessional.
church.
Yeah, that's the only where anyone's confessional or anything.
Yeah.
Doc, you were Catholic?
No, Church of Christ.
Oh, okay.
But I've dated women that were Catholic, so I've been to a Catholic church before.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, though. Like, just to talk on that, because I'm trying to think of it from a reasonable spot, right? Because he broke his own vow, right?
Yeah.
To God, bro.
Well, but I'm willing to bet this priest was in his own way, he was acting on God's behalf, right? He felt something strong enough to be like, I got to tell her this.
This guy's been going to church.
I mean,
he's a believer.
I mean,
No,
I'm just,
bro. I grew up. So I am. Yeah.
But here's all I'm saying. Like, it does bother me because I feel for the guy to the spec that he's less likely to actually be open in confessionals from this point. You know, unless he sees the light of this situation, which I hope he does. But
that's why he's my lawyer, man.
Yeah, see, bro, and we plead the fifth, and I'll leave it there.
Right, but I mean, think of it. Man, listen, dude. Like, if you think about some of these situations we see of infidelity and people getting killed over stuff like that, I mean, dare I say, did he think maybe that it might escalate to the point where something like a safety issue? Because that came down to, okay, so kind of similar in medicine. There was this, God, I can't remember the exact name, but I think it actually took place in Texas where, and this was a big deal because it kind of set the precedence as far as what, like, patient confidentiality. Like, when should you break that?
Right. Yeah.
Because there was this woman who I guess was seeing a psychiatrist. I'm probably forgetting some of the facts, but she was basically talking about these bizarre ideals. She was wanting to like live in a bus. She had kids, right? And the psychiatrist is listening to this, and it was getting to the point where it was getting very extreme and, dare I say, dangerous. And what ends up happening is, the psychiatrist, the doctors didn't say anything. She ends up drowning her kids.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big case back. It was a big case back in the day in Texas. I can't remember the name, but you can Google this stuff and look it up. It was a big thing in Houston. I think it was Houston actually, but I know it was Texas for sure. And so that kind of went to trial as far as precedents, as far as when is it okay for physicians or confidentiality. And so when it comes to any type of safety, homicide, suicide, you have the ability to break that. And you take away and not only can you break confidentiality, but you can actually take, their ability to make medical decisions for themselves. So like if a person comes into my ER and makes suicidal or homicidal, then we make them a clinical hold. At least for 24 hours until they get cleared by a psychiatry team, or the behavioral health team, because it's a safety thing. Regardless of, I was just joking. We get that all the time. Oh, I was just joking. I wasn't serious. It's like, hey, man, it's protocol. You made a statement. So this is a safety thing, because all it takes is one person to mess it up and something bad happened and it gets remembered forever and the whole life lives are affected. So maybe it was something along those lines.
Well, so I got a question for you, because I'm kind of curious, where does that kind of bleed over? Because I don't know the Hippocratic Oath, but I'm imagining somewhere along those lines, like where does the confidentiality kind of, fit, like where it's superseded by a Hippocratic Oath? Like I vow to take care of this person. The shit that they told me, I know that this is the way to take care of them.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it comes down to if you feel it's like a life or death thing. If you feel like their life's in danger or protecting someone else's life, like immediate threat, then you kind of take that away. So
that is a thing. You can break the confidentiality.
Yeah, and it's protected by law. Again, kind of like that case I told you. If it's like a suicidal, homicidal potential, you remove that ability from, or that, I guess, right that they have, because you're trying to protect that person. Unfortunately, you forfeit that ability when you make those statements or you play around like that.
Yeah, it is interesting, man. Like I go to
I got you.
I used to go more, but like to just like couples therapy.
Yeah.
But then I would go by myself, and when I went by myself, I had to sign that, where it's just like, if it's like if I tell her I'm like, I'm feeling sad, like, oh no, I'm like fucking.
Yeah, right.
She's like, she can like fucking admit me.
Oh yeah,
she's like, I just want you to know that like, you can tell me whatever, but if it's like too crazy, that you have to.
You feeling sad?
No, but I had to sign it to do the shit by myself, which is kind of crazy.
Is that what this is? Did you fall down some stairs?
Yeah, bro.
She's
hey, do the thing real quick.
Yo, spousal abuse shit, bro.
Yeah, just blink twice.
That's what he thought, bro. I FaceTimed him. He's like, yo, what the fuck
Who
happened?
hit you, dog?
He's like, what?
I'm coming to pick you up, mijo.
He's like, yo, she's hitting you now? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm on fucking speaker right now.
Gave him the fucking people's elbow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, though. But, yo, I mean, if you were in the situation, right? Because I'm assuming that the wife was going to the, confessing, maybe every week. Maybe this guy's like, damn, man, she's really,
She's cheating a lot.
Yeah, she cheated, bro. She
Just a little whore.
Bro, she getting fucking banned like a little pretzel.
Say, whore's got to go somewhere on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you want to? Would you?
She was probably flashing her titties through the little screen.
Because you can see, bro. You can see. So it's like you see that.
We on a whole new
face.
fetish, bro. Can we kink shame here? Is this too late?
This part's okay.
Glory hole.
This part's okay.
I might have seen a few movies start off like this on the web. Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you say Pornhub?
I think I might have seen some Pornhub shit. Yeah, like
Maybe.
this.
I can't
Pulls the
agree or
screen
disagree.
down. The ass goes through.
Welcome to the Before the Cup podcast, bro. Can we edit any of this shit out?
But like,
Up the outfit.
if you're getting cheated on, how would you find, like, what's your preferred way of getting, I guess, informed? I would rather have this person telling me out of love than like somebody sends me a video.
Well,
like
that whole
picture.
crime of passion thing is real, man. I think it's probably better to know when you're separated from that person then to walk in on something. I mean, I don't know how many.
What's that? You said crime of passion.
Crime of passion. So you hear that when like the guy that comes in or the woman comes in, sees their partner
gets home
cheating,
early from work,
pulls a knife or a gun and kills the person, and then they call it a crime of passion, where it's
heat of the moment.
I have to consult my lawyer, but
bro.
I think the severity of the punishment, is less than.
Really?
And like intentional murder because it's a crime of passion. Don't get me wrong. You're still going to be doing some serious time. Yeah, you're doing some serious time, but maybe you don't get the death penalty.
I mean, exactly. Maybe they can give you like manslaughter or some shit like that. But the whole idea being, if it's premeditated, like if you had time to think about this,
murder, exactly.
And I want to I'm going to kill them. I'm going to cut off their toes. You a crazy motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas if you walk in, you're like,
shit. Right.
It's like, he was pissed off. His girl was fucking blowing 12 dudes in the alley. Like, let's go.
Hey,
that's terrible.
You want to know who else is pissed off?
Who's that?
A Jack in the Box worker at a customer.
I like Jack in the Box.
Over some curly fries.
Curly fries. I was gonna say, I love the curly fries.
Really good.
Opens up the drive-through window, pulls out a fucking gun, and starts shooting at the fucking car.
No way. Man, listen,
Over
curly fries are good, but it don't never get that serious.
He was an ex-Jack in the Box employee, wasn't he? I thought that's what I saw. Yeah, I think he was an ex-Jack. If I remember correctly, he was an ex-Jack in the Box employee. He pulls up. They did the fries wrong. He already had some sort of beef with these people, and he's just. That's it, Susan.
See, I've been upset about cold fries.
I used to work fast food. I've had some pissed off customers. I worked fast food. I flip burgers, man. I get it. But
I used to work at Robin. I put the cheese on the burgers, bro. Trust me, I know.
No wonder why they closed doors.
I'm happy Dr. Mo made it out that game, bro.
I'm happy he made it out, bro. Let me tell you, I work fast food. I flip burgers, bro. People take that serious. And I remember one thing someone told me. He had been working there for like a few years. I remember I will never forget this, man. He's mopping the floor. He looks at me and he says, "Stay in school, man." And I became a doctor. The rest is history.
What fast food restaurant?
This was Sonic.
Oh, Sonic?
Sonic, yeah,
wow,
yeah.
Okay.
You wore the skates and everything?
I was going to say.
Luckily not, man. I was a cook.
Bro.
I was a cook.
You guys seen that video of the Sonic employee busting his ass?
Yeah, I would have been that dude. I would have been that dude fun. Now I was working the grill.
I'd be like, I'm just going to leave, bro. Like,
I can't do that. I don't have the coordination for that, man.
Right.
But it sounds like, man, the fries are cool. Fries are important, but I think it was a little bit beyond the fries. I think there was something else going on.
Oh, yeah.
It sounded like he had a really, really bad day that started before the fries.
I mean, I feel like that's one of those, like, the straw that broke the camel's back type situation. You know what I mean?
So what happened to the worker? Are they okay?
I didn't see the rest of the story.
Are the fries okay?
Yeah, bro.
I was so shocked.
Cold.
I was so shocked on the story. I just kind of kept it rolling. But what actually was something more I wanted to talk about is like that's obviously a very extreme thing taken by.
Hey man, we can make you more fries.
Right?
You ain't got to do this.
A lot of times,
Parker Spot 1, we'll get you some more fries.
A lot of times it's the opposite though. It's not the worker, it's the customer, doing some like fucked up shit.
Wait, was it the worker?
No, it was the customer.
It was the customer that pulled the gun, right? Or was it the worker?
No, the worker opened up the drive-through window and shot.
Oh, that changes everything.
Yes, it was the worker.
You didn't explain that shit, bro.
Yes, I did.
I thought the dude in the car was like, my fries were cold.
No,
I thought it was
because
an ex-employee who pulled up in the drive-thru as a customer, and that's the guy. That's all. Let's double check this real quick.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, that's hella wild.
A bad day.
We've all had shitty days at work, but damn, when you lighten up the customers.
I feel like you could have spit in his food before you pulled the gun on. There's a lot of things you could have done.
So
go like this.
Ready?
No.
He's throwing it back in. He's throwing it back in, right? Throwing all this shit. Ready? There's the worker.
The worker's popping?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right.
Crazy, bro. Jack in the Box employee shoots at customers.
Yo, that changes my whole approach on how I go into a fast. Hey, I'll take it. Hey, you put mayonnaise on my burger? I'm good, dog. I'll wipe it off. I'm cool.
That's why I was so blown away with this. That's why I had to bring it up. Because
how did he bring it?
He
had a gun packing in Jack in the Box?
Yes, like he's packing.
You kind of got to.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what Jack in the Box down in the hood. You're right. You got to go to work packing.
Okay. One key thing. This was in Houston.
I'm not surprised, sadly.
Yeah.
Everybody packs in Houston.
Bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man.
You
That's
have
why,
to.
man, when you're in Texas, like Houston, man, they always say, bro, that's the wrong place you want to start something with somebody because you got to always assume they're packing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a place where you want to mess around with.
Yeah, I was just like,
I low-key feel like that about here.
Yeah.
Someone steps on your shoes. Oh, my bad, man. Even though you stepped on my shoes. I'm sorry. I was in your way. My bad, player.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to mess around.
I mean,
with
I'm like that anyway, just because I don't really care about my shoes like that. Like I get some shoes I care. I get it, but I'm just
if I'm in Canada,
these aren't even fucking.
If I'm in Canada, I'm picking fights with everybody.
There ain't even crease in these things.
Sorry, eh?
Yeah.
Look at the toe. They're not even creased.
Jeez, man.
Whoa, you doing the sidewalk and everything?
Yeah, dude, I walk like this.
Bro.
You know what's crazy, bro? And then we'll move on. When we played basketball, you were wearing your white Yeezys, and I definitely stepped on them.
Oh yeah, those shoes got fucked up.
And I was like,
I actually had to throw them in the trash completely.
I definitely stepped on
You
them.
should have just left them here.
Doc, did you see that video? I was fucking smoking this guy.
I
And
did see
you
that
lost.
video. You lost though, right?
But it was hot.
trash.
It was
Lost.
hot.
Thank
We
you.
didn't get water
Thank
breaks.
you.
We didn't get fucking
Thank you.
water breaks.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Coach over there.
I bet for those first 2 minutes though, you was on.
Doc, it was-
the technique
bro.
was going.
Bro.
Hey,
Ask him about it.
before we move on from this, just curious, have you guys ever had anything like really crazy happen, like in a restaurant, like you freak out, or a customer freaks out, or an employee, like this situation freaks out? Like you guys?
I already told you I'm too good, bro. I asked for steak, they give me chicken. I'm like, thank you.
Oh,
I'm not sending shit
Yeah, I'm
back,
one of those
bro.
people, man. I don't want to.
Okay.
Ever since I saw that movie, Waiting.
Yeah,
and I worked in fast food.
What's that?
bro.
What
You
happened
don't.
there?
They were fucking wiping the fucking bread on their dick and shit like that.
Like this customer
the movie with
pissed
Dane
off.
Cook. You gotta watch
Yeah,
that
pissed
shit, bro.
off
It's a good movie.
the servers and the cooks. So they
Want
like,
some garlic salt,
bro. They just
Yeah,
lost some of
yeah,
the food,
Yo,
bro.
low key, you're kind of terrible with people. Like if something's wrong, you're like, hey, no, this is fucking cold.
But see, that's
Okay.
why, like,
Yeah, so-
I'm just not eating anything from that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good, man. Take it back, but I'm just not gonna eat this.
His, we
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so actually, a company I've worked for many years started off doing sales with them.
Okay.
And
Fuck 'em.
And yeah,
I'll say it for
I'm
you.
actually leaving them. But one thing I will say, when I started with them, I had an entry-level sales position. And in this entry-level sales position, they were very, very big on the customer experience. So greeting the customer,
take some.
when they came in, getting to know the customer, asking the right questions, checking up on the customer, just a really like good in-store experience.
All right.
So I've always kind of had this like level of standard where it's like, hey, someone's coming in, they're paying you for service, they're paying you for products, whatever it is. You need like, if you're paying them for that, like, you need to give that service back to them. It's like this like mutual respect with that person.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't reach it. I'm sorry, bro.
Don't get me wrong. I was listening the whole time. I'm thinking like, yo, this might turn into a whole nother skit right here.
That's exactly what's going on, bro.
Couldn't reach, bro. Play.
No, but I heard everything you said though, man. But yeah, certain standard.
So I had this like,
Oh no, I'm good. I can take a neat.
yeah. So I have this level of standard, and then I would say like what really spoiled me and kind of like got me to where I am today, unfortunately,
Appreciate it, brother.
is I just got to be a sucker for like fine dining. So there's only I
sure.
eat sushi and Korean barbecue, but besides those two spots, I pretty much only eat at like these nicer restaurants.
Oh, fancy,
So
man. I
I've
like it.
started
I dig
to
it.
like I've just had this like level of service that I've gotten at all these spots, and I'll admit I'm probably like my expectations are too high. These people
Yeah.
are making $10-15 an hour plus tip, da. But I'm 100% guilty of just like, I will definitely be like, hey, like you didn't provide me this. Like, hey, like you haven't checked on us. Like none of us have
Right.
water. We haven't had water for 15 minutes. Like
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to call out like, hey, your service is like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and that's.
And then they wiped their dick with the dessert fork, bro. It's fucked
Well,
up.
see, I'm more passive aggressive with it. What I'll do is I'll tolerate, and then at the end, I just won't leave you a tip, and I'll just like, I just won't come back.
I get worse on the tip. Yeah.
Right, because now I pissed you off, I'm not here. You can't mess up my food.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
And then I'll
right.
go to Jack in the Box and hopefully not get shot.
And not get shot.
Yeah, hopefully not get shot.
Bro.
And take the cold fries and
Yeah.
say, I'm good.
Yeah.
I have a,
Good.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Let's say right now, whatever we all do for a living, don't have to go through it.
Drugs.
If you were to choose something to do next in life, so your current job ends tomorrow, and you guys get to choose to do another career, another venture, whatever. I want to hear what you guys would do.
OnlyFans manager. Next.
OnlyFans manager.
Porn cameraman operator.
Oh, you guys could work
Porn,
together.
you would definitely be in the
Yo.
Well, I guess we can complete the trial. I guess I'll be the talent. Like,
I'll be right there. I'll be like, I'm like, yo, Doc.
Are you in?
I'm like, Doc, cream pie her, bro.
Okay.
We got the talent. We got the fluffer. We got the cameraman.
I guess you got to say something similar too.
No, maybe not that deep in the game, but I think especially these days, the easiest transition would be social media some way.
Okay.
Maybe like a YouTube channel or a podcast. Okay. I mean, you got
Doc, I've been telling you.
You
were sleeping.
You know, man, I don't
You're
mind
not doing social media.
I do, but I'm very selective on it. It's more like just kind of networking and business as far as, mentoring and kind of showing like a lifestyle of a doctor, hopefully to inspire people that say, hey, you ain't got to sell dope or have a jump shot to be successful, especially as a minority. And I met a lot of my mentees that way too, that I've mentored and they became doctors. So I guess it's kind of my way of trying to get back. But I think I like my privacy too much. So I go back and forth with it because I think I'd be good at it. But I enjoy traveling by myself, and I feel like with social media, you got to be very careful because when it gets to the point where some of these people rely so much on attention and clicks and going viral, some of them start kind of losing who they are and doing a little extra
doing
too
whatever
much.
they have for clicks.
Yeah, and it just gets to a point, man, you're kind of chasing your own tail and you start.
Yeah.
I'm not into that, man.
I agree with you, man. But so here's the interesting thing, and then do what you want, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I feel like you are the ideal candidate because I watch a lot of doctors on social media.
For sure, me too. Yeah.
The information's cool.
Yeah.
Like watching how each person breaks down their own like studies or anything like that. It's very intriguing to me. But I feel like everything about you is kind of unique. Like you're a doctor that I would actually want to go see, and I'm not a fan of doctors. So
put something in your butt, I got you.
All right, bro, we do it.
Go shove some shit up your ass and then go see fucking.
No, but do you guys get what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Your demeanor is like I feel like I can actually relate to you.
I appreciate it, man. That's cool.
But I feel like your message would mean and hold a lot of value. So I hope that you would reconsider maybe taking social media to a different level.
And I guess that's why I'm like, I got close to 10,000 followers, which is not extremely a lot, but
it's not a small.
Yeah. But so I guess in that way, I kind of use it and utilize it that way to kind of give a certain message and have a scope of influence. Yeah. It's used to, I guess, kind of mold the world the way I want, But I guess I just enjoy my privacy too much, man. Where I just get a little, and it's not even sometimes about me, but it's crazy, brother. Like, not to sound arrogant, but I think based on my personal values and what I want in life, I would consider myself successful. And sometimes it's not the success that necessarily changes you, it changes other people around you. And so social media is the same thing. Sometimes what I worry about is, okay, if I got really good at social media, because this is wild, man. I date some women, not all, but some, and it's almost like they see me and they see what I do and what I'm successful at, and it becomes a competition, which is weird because when you're dating somebody, it's your teammates, right? Yeah. But I guess what I'm concerned about is, okay, if I start getting cracking and on social media and it gets popular, is that going to make them uncomfortable? How are they going to do it? Because I've dated some women, man. Like I don't even have that many followers. Like who's so and so? I liked your picture,
Dr. Mo. Let me just take it back real quick because you know where I'm going to keep going with this is you're dating women in America.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
You're still in the same field.
I get around.
Create a brand new page. It's gonna be called Mo's Message.
Mo's Message,
dude. Because
Mo's Message, and you're gonna do these little reels talking about the
Brandon Gold. I think,
bro, it's good.
Mo's Message.
It's good because
copyright that today.
Like even
your manager.
No, but make sure you add me in the bio to give me a little credit.
Really small print. You got to zoom in. I'll put you on there, man. But I mean, just. Because they say clout's a hell of a drug, right? But just that atmosphere to bring someone into, and they may come in with good intentions, but even when I started making a few, getting that type of attention and making some money, I had to check myself too. And I tell that to my mentees, like, yeah, man, listen, when you start becoming more successful and getting that attention, a lot of doors are going to open. Most of them aren't going to be good. And the most important word you're going to know and learn is the word no.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think I'm a pretty, stoic and disciplined person, but even I had to check myself. And so I'm like, man.
In what way?
Like, whether it's designer stuff or being a little bit flashy and trying to manage money or attention, understanding whether it's women or being around certain people, certain environments. Okay, this ain't the best look for me. As much as pretty as this girl may be, hey, I can't be caught up in this situation. It ain't worth the headache. It ain't worth, like told you, my mom always said. Yourself. Yeah, like I told you my mom was saying, man, she basically says no pretty face of woman that ain't your baby mama or ain't your wife that's worth losing your head or your success and your life over. So sometimes with this social media atmosphere we're in, and people are so wanting attention, I get concerned bringing someone into that. Like, is that going to affect them and change them? And, as a man, I feel like you got this responsibility to protect your woman, even from things she may not understand. So, I don't know, maybe I'm being too paranoid. Maybe I got to get too much more. Maybe I should give more credit to my future wife, whoever she is.
I mean, I'd rather be too careful than not careful enough.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
So the reason why I asked you guys all this is you guys know who Tyreek Hill is?
Mm-hmm.
A wide receiver for the Dolphins.
Amazing athlete.
Tyreek Hill had this great, interview, and just like praising him for his, success in the league. And one of the questions was, hey, Tyreek, what do you plan on doing, after the NFL? And a lot of these NFL guys, they get into like the broadcasting, try to get picked up by NBC, ESPN, Fox, whatever.
Yeah.
Do their little hosting, morning shows before the games, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Tyreek Hill straight up just like looks dead at the camera and he said, I want to be a porn star.
Get out of here.
And
wait, this is like a post game?
Like it was like, I can't remember what network is on. It was like, it was live TV, and he was like, I want to be a porn star. And like everyone just like went quiet. And he like sat there for a second, nobody said anything. And
they're waiting for I'm just joking, but it didn't come.
Everybody's just,
and it was like, yeah, I mean, like, is that like cool? Or like, and he was like, he was dead serious. He was fucking dead serious. So anyway, I was just like,
I mean, there's a lot of, as a man, there's a lot of pluses, I guess, that come with it. But
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Pun intended with that.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little late today, and then, I'm doing some things
on the side.
But I'm looking at myself in the mirror.
Test is flowing.
Hey, bro, I haven't told him that yet, bro.
What is flow? What?
Nothing, bro.
Where we going with this?
Bro, I'm doing my thing.
I'm sure, dude, that's nothing he hasn't heard. Tell him right now.
You're probably right.
TRT.
Bro,
probably right.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
I asked him, he said no.
Well, if you're confidentiality, Joey, you let me see some records. You sure we'll be talking about this?
Go ahead, it's fine.
Looking at, I'll be vague, but looking at your results, it seemed like everything was okay. So I don't think it's necessary. Sometimes when you're doing this replacement therapy, you got to be careful because you're gonna, depending on what they give you, you're gonna lower your natural ability to produce it. So then you're gonna get to the point where you can't be without it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what happens to a lot of these people that do steroids or some of these.
Doc, he's on it too. We're gonna put everybody on blast this month.
I'm stitching on everybody.
I said no, Doc. I said no.
All right, well, fuck it. Thanks, Lucas. We're here, bro.
No, I mean,
we talked about this. I sent this to you, and I was like, hey, because we gonna talk.
I'm always glad to put you on blast. By the way,
so
can we talk about it?
Here's the thing. So optimal test levels are not what your average doctor is going to say is optimal.
Okay.
So an optimal test, so a test range is absolutely stupid. A test range per just a regular family doctor,
right.
They're like, oh, tests should be anywhere from 300 to basically 1,200. And if you're anywhere from 301 up to 1,200, you're perfectly good to go.
Is that true?
300 level test is fucking trash.
And let me give a little preliminary warning here is that this is outside, like I told you, this is kind of outside of my scope of medicine, but you're right. The range for some of these tests is pretty wide. So I guess
the one that we got tested for was 280 to 1,100.
Right. So here's the thing. It's outside of my scope of medicine where I'm not educated enough where I could give you an honest, accurate answer to that. So I have to be honest and say, I don't know.
I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Random question. You know what?
But if you put something in your butt, I got you.
Yeah. Do you know?
Thank you.
He technically is putting that in his butt.
Oh, yeah.
He technically can't prescribe me tests, but you can pull some fucked up shit out of my ass.
Yeah, I got you, though.
Fair enough.
Well, you could prescribe it, couldn't you?
Do you ever?
I mean, I guess I technically could. Now, how did it prescribe it? The doses?
The ethical problem.
I'm pretty sure they would probably, if I did, the ethical. I mean, did you mean to prescribe this? And like, what did they come in for?
What were you saying?
Do you know what your test levels are at?
Actually, I don't. I don't. Because I don't, when I go to get I'm 37 and, just when I go see my family medicine doctor, so this is definitely more of a family medicine, maybe even a sports medicine thing.
Yeah.
That's who I double check with too. Besides you,
because unless you come in with a specific problem, like in some cases, if you're a young guy trying to, for instance, get your woman pregnant, but you're unsuccessful, what they'll usually do is check the man first, because usually the problem is with the man, and they'll check his levels. But generally, they don't routinely check those levels, and again, I'm not a family medicine doctor, just take this with a grain of salt. They generally don't check those levels at a young age unless you're symptomatic or you're going through a certain situation or you reach a certain age. Like it's kind of like a colonoscopy. They don't do colonoscopies on 30-year-old unless there's a reason, specific reason, individual reason for it. But once you get a certain age where the risk becomes exponentially higher at certain types of things, you know, certain types of diseases. Then they'll say, hey, you know, for instance, the prostate exam. No one was checking prostates on me when I was 20. You're not supposed to. But when you get to
I went in electively.
Well, right? But I think the age is like around 40. When you hit 40, I believe that's when they like, okay, we got to start doing prostate exams because prostate cancer starts becoming higher incident.
What it is? It's 40?
Yeah. I believe
I think it dropped, actually.
Did it?
Yeah, I think it dropped.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the biggest thing I've learned,
a money grab.
We can obviously talk about this more off camera, but
let's talk about it right now.
I did basically a full blown like blood panel.
Okay.
All my hormone levels.
That was mine. That was mine.
Oh, yours. Yeah.
We took the same shit.
All my hormone levels and everything. And you know, just as you said, when you go to a family doctor, like you get like a blood exam,
right?
There's very limited things that they're actually looking at
based on your age and family history and things like that.
Yeah. And when you start looking at like your hormone levels and like your full blood panel, and you start thinking about actually like how you feel as a person,
for sure,
your energy levels, how you sleep, midday crash, your mood, sex drive, muscle building, your ability to burn fat. There's just like, there's so much that goes into play when you really start looking like at all those hormone levels. So
absolutely.
So yeah, I kind of took my health to like a whole new level, like back in February. Did one full like blood panel, dieted pretty hard for like 3-4 months. Did another blood panel just like a few months back. And then, it's through it's like a wellness clinic, sports medicine kind of stuff. They do peptides, they do hormone replacement, red light therapy, the cryo chamber, things.
That's like some fancy high tech stuff right there.
So
the office is crazy.
So basically like all sorts of stuff. And, to your point, I think where a lot of people fuck up is they're like, oh, like, let me just get on this and then, you know, whatever.
Right.
Where Chuy and I go to is it's monitored very closely.
Right.
So for example, I started like 6 weeks ago. I actually got blood drawn this morning. So she's basically checking 6 weeks in. Okay, hey, what's your levels at? How things are looking? Do we need to lower? Do we need to change? Do we need to put you on anything else?
Yeah.
Based on that blood, I'll do like, I think another one she said in like 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So like 3-4 months from here on out, just kind of checking those levels. But basically for me to get in like optimal shape, what I'm trying to do, plus obviously do a couple other things, energy levels, moods. I can't complain, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, as long, and this is what I told you when I said, you know, as long as you're being managed by a medical doctor or DO, like a physician, an actual doctor, not a witch doctor, and it's being monitored and do the standard of care, then you're good. You know, again, this is not my scope of medicine, my field of medicine, but if you're going to the right people and they're giving you these recommendations and you trust the person, the physician, and they got a good rating or whatever, you know, then go for it, man. If you feel it works for you, then go for it. You know
so right now,
Doc, I was gonna tell you at dinner, but fucking Lucas wants to spill the tea right now.
Right.
Hey, so
I'll tell her on everything,
here's
bro.
the thing.
He nutted in his girl today, just so you know, Doc.
Doc, every
5
time.
minutes, right?
So you obviously seen us.
Seconds, my friend.
You've seen us, whatever, 6 months ago. It's the first time seeing Lucas. We are committing to you that the next time you see us in probably another 6 months for a podcast, or even 4 months, we just getting sexier every episode.
I told you, man, when you because I see your Instagram, I see that you're lifting, man. I ain't gonna lie, when you came to cut my hair, I might have checked you out a few times, bro.
Hey, bro, I couldn't
But then you
help
found out
it.
you got herpes, and that shit is off the table, man.
No, bro, but the TRT shit is interesting because Evan, I mean, these guys are old as fuck compared to me. I'm still my young 20s.
Man, I'm 37 on me.
Nah, but
36.
bro, you don't even look 36, dude.
I know.
That's what's crazy. He told me he was like, I'm older, you know. He's like, yo, bro, you look like you 20. What are you talking about? I mean, everyone looks like a kid to me, though, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude, like I checked.
You got
like
the,
your fucking
the only,
attorney, my
the only
guy.
reason why
Doc,
you
you
look
should have
because you
seen
got the
him
suit,
6
bro.
months
That's
ago.
all- that's the only reason.
How old would you say?
If you had like the J's on and the fatigue, I'd be like, oh,
Well,
he's
I never dress like that.
I'd be like, oh, he's 23, 24.
Not that anything's wrong with it.
You know what
How
I'm saying?
much?
If you was wearing the kicks, man, I'd say 24, 25. I'm just joking, man.
All right,
I would
Doc,
say
come
maybe
on.
around
You're not gonna
like,
offend me. What do you think
Nah.
I am? Come on. Show me you're a doctor right now.
I would
Doc, if
say
I-
maybe between 28, 34.
34. I landed on the ass end of your scale, but yeah,
I'll show you a picture of him.
Yeah, just like the testosterone levels, I keep a wide range to cover my bases. You know what I'm saying?
Between 18 and 108.
Optimus Prime.
How much weight have you lost already?
Like 60 pounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Are you doing the same like kind of? Okay.
No. But I did do gastric sleep.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I hit the gym now, and I
a lot of and good for you, man, because people go in thinking like, oh, I'll get surgery, I'll get a gastric sleeve or what have you, and that's it. And it's like, nah, man, you gotta still have the lifestyle because you're still not only gonna have the same comorbidities if you don't fix your lifestyle, but you're gonna gain the weight and develop all these other complications.
So for me, I think this is kind of the best part of everything. I felt so limited by my portion control, right? I was able to just consume and endlessly, right?
Right.
Once I got that surgery, you're hungry less and you can literally fit less, right?
Right.
So it spearheaded me into like a health nut, bro. I go to the gym 5 days a week and I eat.
That's dope, man. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
That's dope.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. That's a lot of weight in a amount of time, bro. I've lost 50 since December.
I mean, but I'm proud of you, dog. You're doing the shit the right way. You know what I mean? Could I have got motivated that way? Yeah, but for me, this made it.
And that's fucking. We talk how important the time is, but listen, man, everybody's gonna age, right? So you can age gracefully, or it could be the average person lives around 74, 76. So it could
that's the average.
74, 76.
Oh shit, that's young, bro. We gotta get to having fun, boys.
Dude, I think so.
But keep that in mind. So one of the things I'm proud of, I take so much pride in this, man, is that I'm not on any medication at 37. Like all my levels are good and things like that.
Doc, tell him what you said about my blood, bro. Said it was better than yours.
I did say that.
Doc, let me find out you were lying.
But keep in mind, I'm being honest, but I never had like my testosterone levels and things checked. So but I did check.
I want you to get it tested. At least get it tested.
I'm actually kind of curious. I got
look at that beard. You think he's fucking under 600?
Bro.
Come on, bro.
See this bald head, man? That testosterone.
All I'm telling you is if it comes back,
tell the doctor. Go ahead,
in like that 300-400 range.
Like, yo, give me the juice.
Dude, you take just a little bit, bro, you're going to feel like a fucking savage.
Running through walls, man?
Doc, I'm week 4 and I feel fucking good.
Yo, Chuy and I call each other about 3-4 in the afternoon. We're just like marching through the day.
That is wild.
Like, no, I'm telling you, like, it is a significant like change. Like my energy, my mood. Like I don't know.
It's awesome, bro. It's awesome.
But again, I'd be curious. This guy's gonna be out in the streets clubbing seals, dog. You done.
The best way of describing it is literally like you feel like an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah, man. You remember that? You run around and stay up all late, stuff like that. And sometimes, man, a lot of these levels, hormones, neurotransmitters can be modified by your diet. Because I don't know about you guys, like,
oh yeah, no, for sure.
Especially as I gotten older, I've certainly maintained a more like high protein, low carb, low fat diet.
Oh yeah.
And complex carbs, like good healthy sugars if you're gonna do that. And I can tell the difference, man. Like if I go on vacation, I eat some junk food and stuff like that, I'm gonna be fatigued, tired. But if I'm like sticking to a nice healthy regimen, got so much energy, man. Yeah. Like when I went to Japan, actually, like me and my buddy went out there, and their diet is mostly like high protein because a lot of fish. We eat about like a lot of fish, a lot of sushi, a lot of like lean steak.
Yeah.
And they party out there like 5, 10 a.m., bro. It gets crazy. But like we were average like 2 hours of sleep, but we were going and we were like, man, why are we like up? Even my boy was still, my boy was still
saying, not just energy. Like what I've noticed once I started being clean on diet and everything is your recovery is like I used to get fucking hangovers, and now it's like, we good, let's go.
Yeah, let's roll.
To work, whatever.
Let's do it.
I've watched this guy.
My fucking hangovers, bro. I'm shaking like a leaf, but I also drink on another level.
Buildings down.
Like when I drink, I mean, like I'm the kind of guy that can put down like 30, 40 drinks in a night.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I've watched
like a dog, bro. Like I can
high octane there.
I can drink. Like not normal shit.
Bro. And I mean I can be the same way. I've just watched him do it more.
Boy.
Boys, I think it's almost time. I think it's time for dinner, dude.
It is time for dinner. I'm starving.
I think it's drink time. But
it's true. We ain't getting another drink.
It's drink 30.
But stop. I will. Doc, I appreciate you, bro. I just want to say here too is that I have it's no secret that I have mental health in my family, and I've reached out to you, and you've in an extremely timely manner have responded to me if I have questions about anything regarding
yeah,
family
man, for
members
sure.
with me. And I just want to say I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Bro, you're on a flight back from Brazil, and I'm like, hey doc, can you check out these blood levels? Like, is she lying to me? Is this good? And you're like, immediately, bro. And I just want to say I do appreciate that.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about, man. When you got good people, good friends, man, you gotta take care of them. I mean,
that's awesome.
Love that.
Yeah, for sure.
No, Dr. Mo's a shit, bro, and you should be celebrated every moment of your life. I appreciate you.
Just tell that to all the women I'm trying to date. Hopefully it helps out.
Well, real quick, I was going to say, wait, before we wrap it up.
Recent one.
Oh God, man.
Before we wrap it up, though,
that.
Dr. Mo, do you want anyone following you anywhere or anything like that?
Oh no, I mean, if you if you're interested in the medical field and just want to see a doctor living the lifestyle and maybe see some interesting cases, then I'm at Dr. Mo, Mo 777. So yeah, give me a follow.
And we'll tag that out.
No, your Instagram's a shit because you'll be. It's funny because I'll see like it'll be like an X-ray of like a broken leg.
Pelvis is like this big.
Yeah, and you're like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know, but this person got fucked up.
Yeah.
Yo, he got my diagnosis messed up. Yeah, for sure.
But
for sure.
Dr. Mo, we appreciate you so much. Let's give it up for Dr. Mo.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Mo.
Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.